This program is proudly brought to you by the YJFL Live Official app. With live scores, team stats, player stats and much more. Everything you need for the YJFL in the palm of your hand. Download it from the App Store today.
Good evening, we're here at Surrey Park. I'm Dom from Complete Sports Management here with the victorious St Mary's coach Paul Tobin after St Mary's defeated Surrey Park by 44 points. Paul, it was a good result to win the final game of the season, but ultimately you just missed out on the finals due to percentage and a couple of other factors. I thought Jackson Bowe today kicked 4 goals in the first quarter. He was on fire. How do you reckon he went today in today's game?
Yeah, Jacko's been good for us all year. He's got a lot of pace, but with going with the wind, getting to the right spots and hitting the ball really hard and got in dangerous positions and got rewarded for that. So it was a really excellent game from him early on. So put us well up in front for the start.
Yeah. We've spoken about Tim Todden particularly all year. He's had a fantastic season, but unfortunately he got a caught calf in the second quarter and probably just taken off for the rest of the game on ice. What's his welfare?
Yeah, Tim's all right. So we just being last game of the season, and we're up at the stage, so it wasn't worth risking him to bring him back on. So he wanted to go back on a couple of times, but it's not worth it this time of year. As you said, we needed a massive amount of percentage to even push for final, so it wasn't worth the risk of bringing him back on at that stage.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Was there anyone else you think that stood out in today's game?
I think everyone played well. Kane Francis was a standout, and Charlie Stevens again put in well. Charlie was hurting a little bit as well, but the team overall played well, and we shifted them around a bit. So we got the first goals for the club for Teague and for Cooper. So yes. that was good to finish off with, to allow them to hit the scoreboard as well.
Yeah, that's always good. So we're at the end of the season. You just missed out on percentage. What's your overwhelming thought on St Mary's under 15s for this season?
Yeah, it's first time up in 15-1, so they came up from a Brown division last year. So so they've acquitted themselves really well this year. I think they've realised that they deserve to be in that grade, and hopefully bigger and better things next year.
Is there anything particular that you want to thank at the end of the season?
I'd like to thank Richard again, who started off coaching for the year and due to personal reasons couldn't continue. So he got the boys up and running early in the year. So big thank you to him. But the boys, I thanked them all in the rooms before. So good group of boys, and hopefully they can kick on next year. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, Paul, it's been an absolute pleasure covering you this season. And as you mentioned before, Richard, at the start of the season, I've had a very good time covering St Mary's under 15s this season. I wish you luck for next season and beyond, and hopefully we'll meet again next season here on Complete Sports Management.
Thanks, Tom.
No worries.
Thanks.
Thank you. So I'll now cross over to Damon, who has Surrey Park.
Thanks for that, Dom. I'm here at Surrey Park, where the Panthers have gone down to St Mary's by 44 points. I'm here with Terry and Mark. Boys, it was another tough day, but you must say it's been a big improvement throughout the season, considering the result last time you played these guys.
This was the turning point earlier this season. Our boys sort of were questioned, very much so, at half-time earlier in the season, and I think our third quarter just shows how far we've come to get within 13 points. And we had five of our top kids out today at basketball tryout, so it probably would have been a different result. I was just happy the way the boys continue to try now. Look, it's not down to one or two players. It's very much a team effort now.
Well, obviously, wasn't the most successful season in terms of results, but just morale-wise throughout the season, did the boys? You spoke about the turning point in the season. Did they stay moderately positive as they could?
Look, from the very start, we said this is a learning season. We came up from Division 2, and we've played some very good football teams, and it's not always about the scoreboard. We won last week, which is a satisfying result, at least by the end of the season, but sometimes they've got to learn the game before they actually get the wins on the board. So morale was always up, and they accepted that they're the ones who wanted to stay up in Division 1 rather than just continue to win by 100 points in a lower division. So it's taught them a lot of it. Hey, sport teaches you a lot about life, doesn't it? So you've got to keep on trying.
Well, Mark, I spoke to you maybe 2 months ago now about you said that the boys kept pushing for that first win, and of course you got that last week. Just looking at the team, stepping out of the Oval, of course, is it rewarding seeing them get that first win last week? And even now, you could almost argue mentally that was a win today.
Yeah, and look, I hope that they come away feeling like they have developed, because they have, and we've put challenges to individuals as a group. We've challenged them, and it is satisfying to see one of the boys that you've challenged actually respond and work on the things that you've put in place with them, and that's what kept us coming back each week despite the results, because we could see they were improving, and the challenges we were putting to them they were actually meeting, and yeah, they have come a long way from where they started.
Well, for another question about the overall season, you talk about how they've grown as a group, that sort of stuff, and obviously improved incredibly, really. What's the message going into next season? Obviously, if from our perspective, it definitely looks like they have every reason to be excited about next season, because it could be bigger and better things, really.
Yeah. Oh, we just quickly touched on it after the game then, that they have learned how to work this year. They have learnt some structures. They've learnt a whole number of things that they can take with them to the Colts, and that they should be a very successful team in the future, and I think they'll stick together. We've had some kids come from other clubs this year, so they have gelled to sort of one unit, and I think they'll have great success in the future.
Well, thank you, boys. Thank you for the last interview of the season. I'm sure we'll be seeing you around next year. My name's Dane Bradakis from Complete Sports Management. We'll see you next season.
This has been another Complete Sports Management production.